Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Whole End Talks. My name is Scott Acton and I'm joined by Jamie Acton for this episode.
You right?
Yeah, good mate, how are you?
Yes, I'm all good. Buzzing for tomorrow.
Yeah, big game against Chelsea tomorrow, which we'll come on to. First we'll touch on the 2-2 draw against Liverpool Wednesday. Really good game, good atmosphere. Could have won it maybe. Liverpool might think the same. What was your take on it?
Um, it was weird because before the game I was very optimistic just because I watched their game against Wolves on a Sunday. I think they had a 2 o'clock kickoff, I think, at Anfield, and I don't think that they didn't register a shot on target in the second half, and Wolves deserved to win that game, in my opinion. So I thought that we'd have enough to beat them. I thought first 5 minutes we could not get the ball whatsoever, and I think Guinea. I think when we first got a touch on the ball, I think it was Guinea, and then he tried passing back to the Sassy, and it went out for another corner, and it was just an absolute onslaught. So yeah,
He had a couple, yeah, it was so bad.
I know, and I was like, oh god, here it goes.
Yeah,
But yeah, no. Overall, I'm probably happy with a point with how the game went because yeah, we ended strong. We ended the first half strong and ended the second half strong. But I do think Liverpool they did have a lot of chances, and if they had a better forward than Darwin Núñez, it could have been 3 or 4-2.
yeah. I watched it back. I kind of forgot how many chances I actually had. To be
Mm,
fair, Jota had a good chance, didn't he? Straight after he scored.
yeah,
Not another day, he probably buries that.
yeah. Oh God, yeah. But Jota's had a few. Obviously, Núñez had a few, and yeah, obviously Salah. I thought even though we got a goal and an assist, I do feel like in a weird way we actually did limit him to an extent. Like in seasons gone past, it felt like he was getting into the box and coming in those driving runs a lot more. Whereas I felt like, with Luka Dean up against Salah, I do feel that was probably his best performance up against Salah that we've seen.
Yeah,
Because usually Salah gets the better of him.
yeah. I thought, to be fair, he did okay. I said more lucky Salah. He's never
Mm.
going to miss that. He hasn't had to work hard to get his goal. And on the Trent's goal, he's unlucky with the tackle. He
Yeah,
goes make the tackle. Another day that bounces the other way and it don't go straight back to Salah.
yeah. Sod's law, innit?
Yeah. Yeah, but all in all, I mean, good point. We would have taken a point before the game. It probably feels worse because we didn't beat Ipswich. Um,
Yeah,
but you can't really knock a point against. I mean, Liverpool beating everyone but Forest this season, really, in there.
yeah,
You know, so
yeah. That was another thing as well. Like reflecting on last weekend, if you beat Ipswich and then get a point against arguably the best team in Europe or the world, that's good.
yeah,
You're doing all right. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, overall, I was content with the performance, especially with a makeshift back line. Because you think as well, when people talk about defences, I always count like the pivots in that as well. Because I mean, like we saw on Wednesday night, if we ain't got Kamara sitting in front and anchoring that midfield, it often feels open at times. And I don't know how many shots they had, but at times it just felt like they were coming right through us. And you think you didn't have Boober in there, you didn't have Ezra in there, didn't have Torres in there. If they're all fit, they probably all start. So you think
yeah,
that's the main chunk of your defensive unit there just gone. But all in all, yeah, I was content with the point.
yeah. Um, Obviously, Rashford and Asensio started. Bit of a shock that Asensio started for that one.
For me, yes, I think we spoke about in the preview about transitions and how you need ball carriers. I was surprised he started. I thought Rashford would have. Again, like I think we all agreed in the last video that Rashford, we all expected Rashford to start. But I didn't expect Asensio to start. I thought we would have gone Marlon and Rogers central, Marlon out on the right. Um, but yeah, I didn't expect Asensio to start.
Yeah, yeah. No, I say I kind of thought that. Not an odd one, but yeah, Rashford I think was always going to start. Um, maybe too high pace for Asensio that one. He did okay. I
Mm,
you know, don't think we got the ball to him enough in at certain times, but um, obviously I thought it was the right way to go.
yeah, with Asensio, it's a very similar feeling to when we had Coutinho when he first came, and obviously on the ball they offer so much, but in terms of driving with it and on transition, they obviously don't offer as much. But you can still see where that their mindset and their vision is just one step above the rest, and that
He's such a good player to watch.
yeah,
It's
exactly. But
a left-footed player.
yeah, yeah,
Like on the eye, he just looks. Even making like a 5 yard pass, you think it's just made that look effortless.
yeah, I know, and I think it was the build up to our second goal. He's got the ball. And I'm there, and I'm like, no, no, set out wide. And I think he returns the ball inside to Ollie. I think Ollie then bounces it with Rashford, or someone then eventually lays it out to Luca Dean, who puts the ball in. But that ball
Roger.
inside, that was it, yeah. But that ball inside, initially, I did not see, if it's not essential, and say you put Rogers in the middle, or you put JJ or Rashford, whoever, Marlon. That I don't think they make that pass, and it looks very simple. But the more I watched it back, the more I thought of a lot of people would have gone the easy pass out wide. But like you said, like the 5-10 yard passes, they're important and they make it look effortless.
Yeah, he just sees a completely different picture, doesn't he?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Do you get that feeling as well? Like in the sense, obviously, I know the Coutinho didn't have like as great a squad as what we have now, but do you know what I'm like? Do you get a similar feeling with they're not, in my opinion, like world class, but up here they're world class, like technically and like their vision and their mind for the game is top.
Yeah. Uh, te- I mean, compared to some of the bloody dross that we watched over the years,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think the difference between them two is Sensio just looks a bit stronger and fitter to the Coutinho that we had.
Yeah, a bit
You know,
more hungry.
bigger. Yeah, he putting himself about a bit more, not doing like loads, but Coutinho at time looked lightweight, didn't he, when he was with us?
Yeah, I think as
Yeah,
well. It's just the Sergio looks like he's got the hunger. Like he
yeah,
looks like obviously he's reportedly out of contract in the summer. It looks like, as it stands right now, he's trying to kind of stake his claim as to like I want to be here next season. He's not just treating this as a 6 month sort of ride off into sunset. He wants to. I bet he has aspirations to start for Spain again. I know he was in their squads. He has been in their squads still, but I know he obviously hasn't been starting. So
yeah,
that's probably still in his mindset of that's the kind of level he's at. Whereas, like you said, Coutinho's probably his mindset probably wasn't there, and he was probably thinking not necessarily for a paycheck, but like, oh, it's just a little bit of fun, maybe.
yeah. He definitely seems happy enough to be here. That
Mm,
that.
yeah,
Um, just get into the game then. Shocker by Garcia.
yeah,
He had
yeah.
a good. Nah, I actually thought he had a really good game. I know I said on the last video about us maybe missing Cat, but I've just like he got past Curtis Jones a couple of times and put a couple of crosses in. Delivery's not too bad. He knew it the minute he played that pass, head in hands, and you're just thinking, "Oh, please, please!" Obviously, Salah buries it.
Mm,
Um, yeah, live and learn, I suppose. He's
yeah,
gonna make.
it was with Garcia. I think I might be a jinx for him because on Saturday against Ipswich, I said to the old man, I was like, I was like, do you know what? I think obviously Martinez has been my favourite player for years, ever since he's come for years. But I said I was like, oh, Garcia is slowly becoming one of my favourite players, and I said he ain't got a foot wrong, Dad. As soon as I say that, yeah, let's get his Ipswich. He passes it straight to who was it? Phillips. He passed it straight to Phillips, and I was like, oh my god! And then they went on the attack, and then on Wednesday night, I went, do you know what? Garcia, like, he's so assured. Like, when do you ever see a 2 foot right back? Bang, give it to Jota. I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
Oh
Um,
no, got just a mare, absolute mare. I mean,
mm,
Liverpool they're just going to punish you if you give them opportunities like that.
oh, yeah. But, like, if you want it to fall to anyone in world football right now, it's going to be Mo Salah. Like, as soon as the ball went away and I saw Salah on the penalty spot, I was like, yes, like, it's already 1-0.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
about the Garcia mistake, I noticed that there's a few things that I picked up on. Um, One in the game was that McGinn ran up to him straight away
Yeah,
and kind of like told him to like pick his head up and let's go again. And I think
yeah,
that's credit to McGinn because I feel like obviously it was quite controversial when Ty got stripped of the captaincy and Guinea took it. But I feel that was a good show of leadership, and he's done that a few times this year, and it's gone unnoticed. Um,
yeah, yeah,
so I thought that was quite good by Guinea, and then also I saw was it in his press conference today? Emery said about he'll never blame his players for basically playing his philosophy, doing his way, his style and build up. If they mess up, that's on Emery, and he took full ownership for that. Because he basically said, look, he's 21 years old. He's come from the second tier in Spain. He's basically prepared to make mistakes. Um, and for one, I think it's a sign of a great coach because he's basically given Garcia that trust to make mistakes.
yeah,
Um, but I think the reaction from Garcia was top. So good. Because as soon as he got it again, he was running down the line, like he says, he beat Curtis Jones, got the ball in, and yeah, he's got a good delivery on him as well, I think.
yeah. His delivery's not bad. I mean, to be fair, the crowd got straight behind him. To be fair,
Yeah.
give him a good. Obviously,
Yeah.
away you went. Good reaction after we went to goal. I mean, it was pretty. They obviously started quite well, but we work our way back into the game. Uh, we said about set piece. I mean, comes from Rashford's free kick, and obviously looking from afar when he was at United, you think, yeah, he can put a good ball in, but his delivery so far for us, although we've not really made like too much of it, is top. Great ball in for that. I know it work it. There's a couple of headers and whatnot, but great ball in.
Yeah, it's just the whip he gets behind it. Obviously, he's known for his, I don't know, like you say, knuckleball free kicks is very much like an arrow. Whereas you go with like Luca Dean would just like it's light, but he curls it, like whips it, like but light. Whereas Rashford's very much like a sort of like a bullet, a dipped bullet. He does have much swerve on it. Yeah, just so much pace behind it, and I didn't really think until he arrived that a player could cross a ball with the same technique because he still literally bullets it in. Like it doesn't like it's not like it's whipped, but in the same breath it's not because it's still lined up as if he's going to shoot, and it's literally put right on the money. And he done one against Ipswich, really into a really good area, and he done one obviously that led to the first goal. Yeah, it was a bit of a pinball in the amongst the penalty box, but he put it in a really good area, and I feel like that's what we're lacking because how many times this season have we said, "Fuck, like, come on, beat the first man," and yeah, so far, since he's been on set pieces, he's impressed me, which is surprising because I didn't think he had that in his game. The delivery, I know he had it on the shooting distance from free kicks, but the delivery was it's really took me by surprise.
Yeah, yeah, good goal by. I mean, Tielemans does well. To be fair, gets it on target. And then obviously a few minutes later, really, really good second goal. Really well worked. I know we touched on it earlier, but Watkins does really well. Lays it off to Luca Dean after a few passes. His run into the box is so good. No one tracks it. A really good header.
Yeah,
Um, Top goal. Probably that some people just think that's a simple cross and header, but if you watch the build up to it, where he gets it, I think gets it back, lays it off to Luka Dean. And the minute he lays it off, it's a top goal. That
Yeah, I was saying once it went in, I said I think that's up there with one of his best goals I've seen him score. And again,
yeah,
people to like the naive mind look at that, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, good header, like decent cross, it is what it is." But the link-up play, which I think of Watkins' game is underrated,
yeah,
he's shown that he's laid it out wide, and then his best asset, which is his work rate, he's shown getting into the box, busting the gut, to then head the ball the way he did right into the corner. But it's rare that you see the player that sets the ball out wide is then the one on the end of the cross. You never
yeah,
see that, and for that to happen, as yeah, it's the movement was unbelievable, and the delivery was spot on as well. Um, and yeah, it was just overall it was a very good goal, and it's a very underrated goal, I think, because it was like I said, it's very well worked. And like we were talking about earlier with Asensio, he found that pocket space, played it into, like I think you said it was Morgan,
yeah.
played it into Morgan. Um, but it's just the whole build-up play was very good.
Yeah, really well. I mean, a really well worked goal. We've obviously got them goals in our locker where you think that's a really technically worked goal.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just nice. Obviously, takes us into 2-1, the stroke of half time. I mean, I might be forgetting it here, but I can't really remember us scoring too many late goals in the first half of games all season, really. So to get one and go in at half time, obviously a big boost. Um, their second goal, lucky. I mean, I know it gets a deflection.
Mm,
Martin is probably otherwise. But then again, we had a good reaction, obviously pushing towards the end. We could have gone under there, Liverpool. I know that, they've had the Nunes chance. And they've had a couple of others. Jota, obviously, I think he hit the bar before they equalised. Um, but yeah, good reaction. And obviously towards the end, we're pushing. I think they were obviously happy to settle for a point. But another day, Marlon's goal might have just, that shot might turn into a goal. Rogers had that one where he ducked in a bit of interchange with Matson, I think, and puts it over. But a good reaction. Not, Villa of old would just go proper within themselves, wouldn't they? And you'd 3-2.
oh yeah, but like he says, the reaction was top, and I mean, yeah, they got their goal. It kind of luckily bounced for Salah off the challenge of Luka Dean. That's just the form he's in. If he, it sounds weird to say, but if he's not in the form he's in, that ball doesn't bobble and bounce the way it did for him.
Yeah,
And then Trent obviously scoring, deflected. It's football. It is what it is. Like I mean, a lot of talk's been had about our 7-2 game against Liverpool. You look at how many like deflections and stuff we had in that game. It just happens sometimes. But what I found,
don't
hey.
you don't care when it's going for your team, though.
Oh no, no, definitely not. It just doesn't seem to happen for us as much as it does other teams. But
That's
it was nice to see. Again, I didn't think it went unnoticed. The fact that obviously there's no denying that Trent's a starting right back, but Conor Bradley defensively is much more assured than Trent. And as soon as Trent scored, actually made a defensive change by taking off Trent for Conor Bradley, and it's weird that they done that after he had just scored, and the camera went to him after, and he was fuming. So, so I thought that was a bit strange because I thought that from Slot's mindset, I was, is he kind of okay? Yeah, we've got that goal now. Like, let's just not necessarily play it safe, but let's be a bit more assured there because obviously Rashford was getting a bit of joy. So yeah, I was surprised to see Bradley come on. I thought they were going to go for a third with Trent, bearing in mind he had just scored. But yeah, I think our subs made a big difference as well. I think JJ looked good when he came on. I think Marlon again looks really really sharp. And then also Rogers, obviously he was. I think he started. He started. I can't remember. Obviously, Rashford was on the left. And then did he start
he's
central and Rashford and Asensio started on the right? Was that? And
uh,
then they swapped.
Rogers, right? Yeah,
Yeah, and then obviously when when essentially
There
I'm
was
after.
different moments throughout the first half, especially towards the end. I don't know if it was maybe Rashford getting tired, but there were times when it looked like they were interchanging a bit. But I don't know if that was just how the play ended up.
Yeah, but
Um,
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure
and
what they're being told by Unai, but yeah, I think
yeah,
Rogers centrally, he's so dangerous, and it's just like players have that knack. Obviously, you get out and out wingers like Bailey, for example. Like I wouldn't think of ever putting Bailey in as a 10, but you get players like JJ that could play as a 10, could play out wide. Whereas I think Rogers is more. Well, I think Rogers is a player that like he could play out wide, but him as a 10, the difference between him as a central 10 to being out wide is chalk and cheese. And you really saw that, like I says, once Rashford and Asensio went off. That the run by Morgan, he made a couple of those good runs, and that's what he was missing out wide. But like I said, as soon as he came inside, he made two or three of those runs, and that's the Rodgers we know. Um, but yeah, I thought, like he says, brilliant reaction. I think the subs made a huge difference. Um, but yeah, subs made a difference.
yeah. JJ looked good again. Actually, when he come on, Marlon looked really sharp. I think he's going to be a really good player for us. Yeah, Rogers when he went centrally definitely had a bit more joy. Maybe because they were retiring as well.
Yeah,
Um, and obviously, I know you just touched on Conor Bradley. I don't know if that was a fitness issue for Trent.
mm,
I don't know what. Obviously, I know he was out on it for a bit.
yeah,
Maybe he could only play a certain amount of time, or
maybe. I'm not
you
sure.
touched on Arne Slot then. Um, Arne Slot, what what a knob! Did we were driving and he said on Talksport on Talksport along the lines of they even had fireworks at the start of the game. Did they do that just because it was Liverpool? No, you have like no, you knob. Like
Yeah, I
Liverpool
know.
ain't that. Like I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, are you actually saying this? And I can't. He said something else, something to do with fireworks, and that Villa Park was full.
Yeah,
Like what a weapon! Like surely you'd be like do a bit of research, and no, Villa Park is full pretty much most games, and that Villa have the pyros for pretty much every home game this season. I just such a like what's the word?
arrogance.
Ill like just do a bit of research first.
Yeah,
You know, or they've even put fireworks out because Liverpool, like, you're not that special. Like, yeah, you're top of the league, but come on,
I know.
like, have a bit at the same time.
I thought it was very arrogant from him, like to say about fireworks. Like I'm pretty sure we had fireworks against Stevenage in the FA Cup third round 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not because it's not because it's you.
I,
It's not because it's Liverpool. It's not because you got Salah or Van Dijk. It's not because you got these players. Like when we welcome Cardiff in the fifth round of the FA Cup, I guarantee we'll have fireworks. We might even have a typho. Do you know what I mean? We're not. We did, but that's
yeah,
how. But it annoys me because I don't know where his mind's at. Is it because like, oh well, we're top of the league. I want to show that I don't back down to no one, or I don't know what it is. But to come out with that comment after, it's very bitter, and in my head anyway. And it's just like I don't know if you remember the first time we played them at Anfield before the game. He was quite. I don't know if rude's the word, but I remember. Do you remember he made a remark about Unai and said about how Emery only has one plan and he hasn't changed for years, so I know how he's going to play.
yeah, I remember, like
He,
he's arrogant.
yeah, he's so arrogant, and it just makes me dislike him so much. Like, I mean, I'd never really had an opinion of him before. Like, I didn't really care about him, but after saying that, it's just I just don't like him now. Um,
Yeah, you think, like I said, like, what a knob.
Yeah, it's just more so the fact that he's made Villa to be this small club that's like, oh wow, Liverpool are in town, so we might sell out a few more seats and might do fireworks. Like I said, we're gonna do fireworks for Cardiff. We done fireworks for Stevenage in the FA Cup. We're gonna be sold
Yeah,
out against Cardiff. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's a joke.
it's ridiculous. Um, Champions League draw was obviously today. Club Bruges. Thoughts on that? Probably the one that we would have picked, I think. Not
Um,
necessarily high thing, but I mean, on paper, 24th in the league. I think you know, on paper it makes them the well, say weakest, but you'd fancy us to beat them over two legs.
yeah. For me, I was actually happy with either. A lot of people probably would have said Bruges, but Dortmund have been in just this year has been such a bad year for Dortmund. I mean, they Nuri Sahin got the sack, I think, 3 weeks ago, maybe, or a month ago. And the new managers come in, and they had a local derby against Bochum, who are near the bottom of the league. I think Bochum was second bottom, and
Yeah,
they lost the game 2-0. And then the Dortmund players went to go over to the ultras. Obviously, you know how it is over there. Like they're crazy, you know. And they
yeah,
went over. They went over to say like thanks for coming to the fans, and the fans just told them to go away. They didn't want nothing to do with them. So they're in absolute turmoil at the minute. So I was actually happy with either. The only thing that worries me about Club Bruges is that they have a belief that you usually get these teams that come along every like so often in the Champions League. I don't know if you remember the Monaco team that obviously the year after everyone got sold. They had Mbappe, they had Lamar,
yeah,
Bernardo Silva. That team that Falcao up front, I think he captained the side. That team just had belief, and like the Ajax team of a few years ago. I get the similar vibe with Club Bruges. And yeah, for me personally, I would have probably picked Dortmund, but I mean, like it says with Club Bruges, I think over two legs, I would fancy us. If we can keep
yeah,
it tight at their place and then bring it back to Villa Park in the second leg, then it's a tough task for anyone at Villa Park.
yeah. I think they're quite hard to beat, but second park, I mean, be some that, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it'll be a carnival atmosphere. Well, it depends obviously how the first leg goes, but if we can get a one goal, 2 goal lead going into Villa Park, it will be absolutely electric.
Yeah, I think even if you're level, if we can avoid defeat and bring back to obviously Villa, then fancy us to beat on the night. I mean, we won't look too far ahead, but if we get through second leg, we'll be of the quarterfinals at home, and if we get through the semis, second leg of the semis will be at home. Start buying tickets from you now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I've already booked my hotel to Munich, so
We won't go too far. Won't go too far ahead.
no.
Last thing, and then we'll stop. Obviously, Chelsea tomorrow, not in the best form. Um, no idea. I see the press conference earlier. He said Conte might be back. It'd be massive if he was. Um, Otherwise, probably Bogard and Mings, I would suggest, and then maybe the same front four as Saturday with McGinn and Tielemans.
Yeah, yeah, I'll probably say Bogard alongside Mings. There isn't no other options if I'm honest. But like you said, having Esri available, who in my opinion is our best defender, having him in the middle
Yeah,
would be obviously he plays best when he's alongside Mings as well. So to have them two back together again, um, I mean, going to Chelsea a little bit. Obviously they've got their injury woes as well. I know Madueke's not fit. Jackson's out for the season. Obviously Felix went to Milan. Obviously, they started with it was Palmer, Sancho, and Cuckoo and Madueke, but then Madueke pulled up. So then I really don't know how they're going to line up, but obviously that how we are at the back, they are up front. They haven't got a lot of options to pick from. So it sounds weird, but for a game to not have players like Kamara, Torres, Konsa, Disassi. It sounds weird because it's Chelsea, but it's probably one of the better games for that to happen because they don't have an out and out nine. They don't have someone that's going to occupy two centre halves like maybe a Jackson would by running in behind and coming off the shoulders. I think it very much will be ball to feet constantly. By what I saw anyway from their last game. But yeah, I mean, like he says about their form as well. I think they've won. I think they've won three out of the last seven, and one of them was Morecambe in the FA Cup. So obviously take that as what you will. But again, Villa Park is a tough task for anyone. So I'd back us to get all 3 points. But again, it's Villa. It will be typical Villa to not not do well against Ipswich, play out of our skin against Liverpool, and then just put in another dire performance against Chelsea.
I mean, and Cuckoo, uh, yeah, I quite rated him at was he Leipzig, wasn't
Yeah, Leipzig. Yeah,
he? Yeah, I know he's had injury troubles, but he's not really done it yet. I mean, you'd think he'd get a chance now. Um, they had the little young winger, didn't he play quite a bit? George,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
something. George, I don't know what his first name is.
They call
Uh,
him. Yeah, I'm about to say they call him George on commentary.
um, maybe he might start. I don't know. I think it's one of them. If we need to go and get the first goal and try and play on the front foot like we did against Liverpool. They're not in the best of form, but yeah, I'd rather be playing Chelsea now than 2 months ago at home. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah. When we played them at the Bridge, I wasn't confident whatsoever because that's when they were in a rich run of form and going back to it being Villa, old same Villa. I saw something earlier that Palmer hasn't registered an assist since he
don't
last.
say it.
Palmer hasn't registered an assist since a 3-0 win against Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge,
Uh,
which
listen, the minute that tomorrow, I'm going to look across you and give you a dirty look.
oh funny, typical, isn't it?
Plus, I know too many Chelsea fans for us to lose tomorrow. Father-in-law, the guy that I work with at work, like just just don't lose.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Just don't lose. I like I said, jokes aside, I'd fancy us to go and get a result. Um,
Yeah,
Score first. They're not great at the back. Colwill, you can get at him, dependent on who plays next to him. Cucurella, I know
yeah,
he was okay, but Reece James is obviously back in the team. Um, Strong midfield. If we can win the midfield battle, my only worry for me would be that we're asking McGinn and Tielemans to go again, Rodgers to go again. You know, um,
mm,
but obviously we've got Palace Tuesday. Hopefully Barkley or an Arne Kamara. I don't think they're necessarily close. So um,
yeah,
maybe put Bogard in if Conster's fit. Maybe start Bogard. I mean, I can't see it, but just thinking outside the box.
yeah. I think he said Onana, Torres, and Buba are 2 to 3 weeks away. Barkley they thought would be fit for Liverpool, but it's taken longer than expected. So obviously, if it's not, he said he's out for tomorrow, but hopefully it might be Palace. Um, and yeah, obviously Esri and Leon are. They said they had a training session tonight, so they're going to see how they done with that and then go from there. But yeah, like he says about our back line, we can really get their back line, and Ollie's in a good run of form at the minute as well. Like he says, Kyle Will. Um, they have Trevor Chalobah as well.
He's probably their best defender, though.
Yeah, I know, but do you not? If you were to say like, would Trevor Chalobah get in our starting lineup?
No, and I'd take Disassi every day of the week.
There you go. We've taken
No,
their best centre half.
the guy at work keeps calling him Axel Disaster, but he turned into Beckenbauer for us.
Yeah, but cutting him from the left wing, he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. Promises to be a good game under the lights, late kickoff. Should be a good atmosphere. Really, we need to win. 3 points for us takes another 3 points off them. We've got to start turning draws into wins. A slim chance to really push for the top five.
yeah, 100%.
What are you going for?
Well, we'll always concede, so 3-2.
Okay, I will go for 2-1.
4-2-1.
No, I'm going for.
Oh,
You
four
do.
two one.
I'm going for a 2-1. Robert. Right.
Oh,
Um. Yeah. Anyway, let's hope for a win tomorrow, and we'll be back probably Sunday for a roundup of Chelsea. Look forward to Palace, and yeah, up the Villa, up the Villa.
I thought you cut it up the Villa. I thought you cut it. Yeah, up
I'll
the
see you.
Villa.
Right, look forward to the car journey up.